What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Saturday. It's a Saturday night special. May 4th. Don't bring that Star Wars shit in here. Do not freaking say it. May 4th. Don't. May 4th, 2024. It's the date. It's not Star Wars references. Okay. Nerds. Christ. Anyway, please visit the BuckeyeCast.com as I roll my eyes into the back of my head. You know, my mom used to tell me something. I roll my eyes a lot, especially at my wife, like most red-blooded Americans do. But my mom used to tell me if I rolled my eyes at her when I was a kid, she'd say, those eyes are going to get stuck in the back of your head. So I stopped doing it for a while. Smart lady. But they never got stuck. So I will continue to roll my eyes at anything that annoys me. Anyways, and you should too. Please visit the BuckeyeCast.com. Check out the shop. Check out the video vault. Everything you can possibly want there. You can even listen to the podcast there. So please visit the BuckeyeCast.com. Today we're talking about the big man, the beefy man up in the middle. The defensive slobs, we'll call them, the defensive tackles. We're focusing on our post-spring position group breakdowns here. Continuing on, we're going to get into the offense, defense, everything, recover the bases because we saw some stuff in the spring and spring games specifically that really stood out. So I've had my coffee, loaded up, and I'll probably talk really fast. So let's go. So let's talk about it. The depth chart looks like this. Hasn't really changed at all. You got Tyleik, senior, came back. Then you got Tywone Malone. He's a redshirt junior. Then you got two redshirt freshmen, Jason Moore and Will Smith Jr. Then you got Eric Mensah. He'll be in the spring. Well, summer, actually. About a month from now, he'll be in. Then you got nose tackles. Those are the three techniques. The nose tackles, we just got three dudes. Ty Hamilton, redshirt senior, technically could come back for another year. Then you got Hero Kanu. He's a redshirt sophomore, and Kayden McDonald, a true sophomore. So Hero is the third year. Kayden will be going into his second year there. So yeah, snap count wise, I did want to go over last year's snap counts for these guys, give you a little perspective. Tyleik played like virtually every defensive snap possible, 642 on the year in 13 games. Mike Hall, obviously on to the NFL, but he played over 400. And Ty Hamilton split time with him with 343. So expect Ty Hamilton's to increase substantially going into this season. Hero Kanu, just 90 snaps. He did play in every game except for one. Then you got Jaden McKenzie. He entered the portal back in December. Tywone Malone, just 49 snaps. Didn't play in 4 games. Kayden McDonald, 35 snaps, but got a handful there late in the season in a few games, and we saw him in the bowl game against Missouri at fullback. And then you got Jason Moore, just 3 snaps on the entire year. So that's those are the returning guys. Looking at production from Tyleik, let's see. We'll talk run defense grades first. Ty Hamilton was the best on the team at D tackle, 78.9 against the run. So taking on that run plugger duty. And Tyleik, 71.8, still good. He'll need to work on that this offseason. Michael Hall was only a 70. People forget. Hero, he was a 68. McDonald, 65.8. Jason Moore, 64.9. And Tywone Malone, 53.4. That's why Tywone Malone has not played a lot. Looking at pressures, obviously, we'd love to get a push up the middle from a defensive tackle point of view. Larry loves the pressure coming up the gut. Michael Hall led the team last year in 29 total pressures, 5 sacks. I'm sorry, 5 hits, 22 hurries, 2 sacks. Tyleik had 22 pressures, 2 sacks. Ty Hamilton, 9 pressures, 2 sacks. So you're getting some production coming back there. Hero even had a sack there on 3 pressures. So these guys get the job done up the middle. And Tyleik actually led all D tackles in tackles last year, 34 tackles. He did have 6 misses, but down in the trenches, you're going to have that. 6 is not that bad. Ty Hamilton was right behind him with 23 tackles. Michael Hall just had 15 tackles last year. So that's kind of an idea of the production and snaps from last year. So looking at the position, Tyleik, he chose to come back for his senior year, of course. And then Ty Hamilton, he played nose tackle and started half the season last year. He split the time with Mike Hall, who left for the NFL. But behind them were a bunch of inexperienced guys that needed to step up this spring. They need to show that they can be used in a rotation this season. You got Jason Moore, Will Smith Jr., Hero Kanu, Kayden McDonald, Tywone Malone. So Tywone Malone could get passed by on this depth chart. He might have already been. We'll see how the fall shakes out. But the expectations, Tyleik and Ty, they took it easy this spring, cut back on those reps. So that gave a lot of reps to the young guys, the young players, to help them develop. And this is a common theme throughout most of the position groups that have a lot of leadership, a lot of seniors at the top, juniors and seniors. So it's kind of top heavy, I guess you could say. But the more reps these young guys get, the faster they develop and the more they can be relied on in game situations. So coming out of the spring, Buckeyes have gotten deeper with the young guys. Jason Moore had a really good spring. Larry Johnson's talked about how effective Moore is, how hard he was working, and his overall natural ability. I remember he was a D end in high school. So then you got Hero Kanu, Kayden McDonald. They're both big, disruptive dudes up in the middle. I think you could call Jason Moore a bit of a surprise. He only played in 1 game last year, like I mentioned, three snaps I mentioned. But he was a 3-4 defensive end in high school. So he's still growing. He's now up around 6'6", 305. But he has some of the defensive end speed and length that you love, but now coming in at D tackle. So Moore showed some very good pass rush ability this spring. He can be just as strong. Can he be just as strong against the run, though, is the question. That part of its game needs to continue to develop. Some questions along the defensive tackle group. The young guys, they look good, had a solid spring, but how reliable will they be in season? LJ said last year that he didn't have enough players who were ready to play. That seems like an issue, but that can't happen this year. So the young guys got a lot of work this spring. We won't know if they're game ready until we see them in real games, right? You got the early non-conference games; those will help. But eventually, you will need to be ready to play in the fourth quarter of games that are still in doubt. So Larry Johnson's going to review the tape from all the spring practices, all 15, get an idea of how the depth chart stacks up, who can back up Tyleik and Ty Hamilton. And then Larry's going to likes to have players that can play both tackle spots. So cross training, right? So is there one guy who can play both, possibly be that third man in, one possible issue with this group is the lack of experience depth behind Tyleik and Ty. Tywone Malone has played a bit, but he's not on the same level as Hero Kanu and Kayden McDonald. I would say they've passed him, in my opinion. They've seen more action than Tywone Malone, Jason Moore, and Will Smith, and even obviously Eric Mensah. They've seen more action than those guys. So who can fill in for Tyleik Williams is the question. There are options, but they're unproven options right now. Now, is it possible to see Hero Kanu and Kayden McDonald on the field at the same time? These guys could be the next in line for the first man in. So Larry Johnson likes versatility, like I said, cross-training the tackles. So maybe we see those two side by side at times this season, maybe those non-conference garbage games, or blowouts, whatever. But Larry Johnson, to finish it off here, had a quote on Jason Moore to kind of reiterate how he's feeling. He said, quote, I mean, he's 6'5", he's 295 pounds. He's the ideal 3-tech in our system, right? And it's just a matter of having confidence and playing. Sometimes it is bigger than you think it is, and it kind of sets you back. Now in the spring, we're challenging him, and I'm just telling you, every day is a good day for Jason Moore. Okay. Every day is a good day when you tune in to the Daily Buckeye Blitz. I'll tell you that. Sure as shit. But I appreciate everybody joining me. Don't roll your eyes unless you absolutely have to. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Please visit thebuckeyecast.com. Go Bucks.